Episode 18:05. Ready? Let's go. In the U.S. Dennis the Menace comic strip, what is the name of Dennis Mitchell's dog? Ruff. Which band performed the iconic theme song, Don't You Forget About Me, for the 1985 film The Breakfast Club? Simple Minds. In the cartoon Secret Squirrel, what is the name of his sidekick? Morocco Mole. Where were Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard executed? The Tower of London. Which Tibetan religious leader traditionally sits on the lion throne? The Dalai Lama. Who did Lee Majors play in the 1980s TV series The Fall Guy? Colt Seavers. In what year did the Summer of Love occur? 1967. Which canal features, redesigned by Leonardo da Vinci in 1497, are still in use today? Canal locks. What do Americans call a British ice lolly? Popsicle. Which Italian composer wrote the opera Madama Butterfly? Giacomo Puccini. Which device has components called the film gate and the claw? A film movie camera. Unusual among carnivores, hyena clans are dominated by which sex? Females. What precious metal is famously stored at Fort Knox? Gold. What were the full given names of the novelist P.D. James? Phyllis Dorothy. Who directed the 1916 silent film Intolerance? D.W. Griffith. In 1867, Joseph Lister carried out his first antiseptic operation on which member of his family? His sister. Which symbol is commonly but incorrectly said to have come from superimposing the letters U and S, with the U later dropped? The dollar sign, dollar symbol. Near which Russian city did the largest tank battle in history take place during World War II? Kursk. Which TV detective famously kept a pet alligator named Elvis? Sonny Crockett from Miami Vice. Which character in the Popeye cartoons was voiced by Gus Wicke, Pinto Colvig, William Pennell, and Jackson Beck? Bluto. Who is the longest reigning monarch in recorded history? Answer: Sobhuza II of Swaziland, about 82 years. Who had to be removed from Andrew Jackson's 1845 funeral for swearing? His pet parrot. What slang term describes someone or something that is aggressively blatant or provocative? In your face. Damon Albarn is the lead singer of which Britpop band? Blur. The custom of kissing under the mistletoe is associated with which ancient tradition? Roman, Druidic, or Celtic? Druidic. Wang is the most common Chinese surname, and Li is the second most common. Which surname ranks third? Zhang. What is the largest planet in our solar system? Jupiter. What food is traditionally eaten on Shrove Tuesday? Pancakes. Which lightweight wood is commonly used to build model airplanes? Balsa wood. Which cocktail is made with white creme de menthe and brandy? Stinger. What reference book lists words grouped together according to similarity of meaning? Thesaurus. Who was the first American billionaire? John D. Rockefeller. Which waterfall carries more water each year than any other waterfall on Earth? Niagara Falls. In medieval England, what kind of activity was hot cockles, a popular Christmas pastime? A medieval Christmas party game. What adventurous occupation did Mary Red and Anne Bonny share? Pirates. What is the collective noun for a group of peacocks? Answer muster, also called an ostentation. In Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, why couldn't the nurse immediately tell Juliet about Romeo when she returned in Act 2, Scene 5? She was out of breath and exhausted from hurrying. She had been running. What is the capital of Vanuatu? Port Vila. What celestial object did Clyde Tombaugh discover in 1930? Pluto. What is the medical term for the fear of contracting polio? Poliophobia. What is the capital city of Florida? Tallahassee. What was Belize called before it was renamed in 1973? British Honduras. Which South American country hosted the first FIFA World Cup in 1930? Uruguay. We know whales and dolphins descended from land-dwelling ancestors, but scientists still debate how they made what transition. Answer: the transition from land back to a fully aquatic lifestyle, return to the sea. Which biological sex is typically determined by the presence of one X and one Y chromosome? Male. Which country is credited with inventing the fortune cookie? United States. What is the common name for HCl when it is dissolved in water? Hydrochloric acid. Which actress wrote the autobiography titled Call Me Anna? Patty Duke. In which river was Jesus baptized? Jordan. How many legs, including its pincers, claws, does a crab have? 10. Thanks for playing.